I really cannot give a person a hard time if they enjoy watching soap operas or get invested in it to the point that they know all the characters' names, the 10 different layers of drama and ridiculousness going on. Because when it comes down to it, if a person watches that kind of cheese, don't they know it's cheesy and they just enjoy it ironically, or they just enjoy it wholeheartedly because they like the ridiculousness and absurdity of it? I'll bet everybody has that kind of guilty pleasure to some degree or extent. And I'd even go so far as to argue that professional wrestling is a soap opera, but it has the added layer of you get to see the guys wrestle or fight with each other on top of the dramatics and theatrics. A few wrestling fans have even described it that way, so you really can't give me too much flack for describing it in that kind of light. I'm going to get to my main point here. I don't really have one, but my favorite game of all time is The Sims 2. It's pretty much undeniable. I've been itching to play again, and I need to find a way to get a CD drive or pull off the digital files on there so I can just load them up on my computer and start messing around with it again. And as I've been thinking about why this one stands out in my mind above all others, part of it is nostalgia, since I really got into this particular game when I was 12 to 14 years old. That's really when I avidly played it. It was my escape away from the world, from how much it sucks to be a preteen and all that stuff. But I'd return to it now, not necessarily because of nostalgia, but because of how the game is set up. And since I opened with the soap opera brand theatrics, of the 3 pre-made neighborhoods in The Sims 2, one of them is an entire series of soap opera brand melodramaticism and theatrics. Pleasant View. It even has the ironic corny title. You have so much different ridiculous stuff going on here. I'm going to start with the most famous of the Sims in this particular neighborhood. You have the Goth family, which is old money, or rather, they're called the Goths because they dress in darker, more kind of posh clothing. Their mansion is a dark brick kind of elegant facade. It kind of has the old money aristocratic feel. And you have the head of the family, the elderly Mortimer Goth. Poor fella has lost his wife. Or as soon as a player starts at the game and they go into this particular family, they notice that the standout sim for the Goth family, Bella Goth, is missing. When it comes to Bella, I like to imagine her as, I could see her being considered the most beautiful and charismatic woman in town. Not only does she have the rich, successful husband, but she is a socialite that people are either totally in love with, love to be around, love to talk to, or they want to be her. That she's one of those kinds of characters. Someone who'd get a lot of scorn or contempt because, why am I not in her place kind of thing. The story behind Bella is that supposedly she was abducted by aliens and didn't return. If you've set up a situation where a sim gets abducted in The Sims 2, they're gone for several hours, but then they're unceremoniously deposited right back on their front lawn early morning, incredibly freaked out and perturbed, or ridiculously excited if they're a knowledge-aspirated sim. Bella's set of circumstances doesn't line up with what you see in-game, so it's pretty much EA decided to take her out of being a playable character, just take her out of the game, to start dropping these nuggets of suspicion or mystery to get the players all riled up and trying to figure out, where'd Bella go? You have so many different machinimas and stories and fan theories, wondering where this enigmatic sort of star of the Sims games went. Where'd she go? And since Bella's missing, you have another suspicious character that pops up. Mortimer is currently in a relationship with Dina Caliente, one of the the Caliente sisters supposedly moved in not too long after Bella's disappearance. Dina is a widower herself. She was originally married to Bella's brother, Michael Batchelor, So, she was Mortimer's sister-in-law. And now, at this particular point in the game, they have a fairly romantic relationship. It's obvious that Dina's a gold digger, but Mortimer is so infatuated and kind of deluded that he doesn't see this. What's even funnier is that when you first bring up the Goth family in The Sims, Mortimer not only wants to flirt with Dina, but he wants to try flirting with her red-haired sister, Nina, as well. Like, he's deluded himself into thinking, even to his old age, he's this really charming, go-getter bachelor type that can get any young, attractive woman he wants. That, just thinking about that cracks me up. It cracks me up to a ridiculous degree. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Mortimer's daughter, Cassandra, is engaged to the town womanizer, Don Lothario. And to add even more ridiculousness to it, Don is having an affair on Cassandra with both Nina and Dina. Neither of the sisters know that they're both involved with this guy. And if you really... this is where the connect the dots thing comes in. EA pretty much set up a basic template to get viewers to get into play and wonder what happened to Bella Goth, or what led to her disappearance, and what do these three suspicious characters have to do, or how are they tied in? You could set it up as Dina found a way to get Bella removed from the picture and is swooping in to take Mortimer Goth and take his money. That's the most blunt, straight to the point thing. You also have the added detail of some of Dina's early ancestors. If you trace back to her family tree in the game, she's part alien. So, even more ridiculous conspiracy theories could be she called in for some extraterrestrial favors to take Bella Goth and remove her from the picture. And since Don is engaged to Cassandra, you could have the even extra ridiculous layer to this that he plans on marrying Cassandra, getting into the family, and then as soon as Mortimer kicks the bucket, he divorces Cassandra, and then he and Dina run off into the sunset happily ever after with their ill-gotten gains, with their ill-gotten money. Something along those lines. There's no concrete way to set up what these characters' motivations were, who's connected to what. You could even argue that Don just got in over his head and wants out of the marriage as soon as possible so that he can keep on womanizing any connections he has with the Caliente sisters, or Dina's plots to steal Mortimer's money are purely coincidental. Just, there's so many different ways to approach it. That's just the Goths and Bella Goth and such, though. You also have another family where you have the quote-unquote perfect family. The dad is a sports coach, the mom is a she's a political magnet, really rising up in her career, works all the time, brings in a lot of money. They're get straight A's daughter. But then you have the pumpkin rebellious daughter, the opposite twins. One's a rebel, one's a good girl. The perfect couple. Look good on the surface, but really the husband feels neglected because his wife is a workaholic and is never home. And tensions between them have gotten to the point where he's having a secret affair with their maid, Kaylin Landerek. And then, of course, because things aren't convoluted enough, Kaylin is also entertaining a relationship with Don. So she's bouncing between those two. And then you have the Broke family, which is a single mother trying to raise her two kids, and she's also pregnant with another one. This happened before her husband died in a mysterious remove the pool ladder accident. I was just watching a video where somebody was discussing this particular event in The Sims 2. If you played any of The Sims, you know that one of the favorite things to do is kill Sims in incredibly horrible ways. One of the favorite go-to tactics in Sims 1 and 2 is that you set up a pool, have the Sim get in, go into buy mode, remove the pool ladder, and then wait and see what happens. Pretty much, this character's absence in The Sims 2 is EA's big joke. Hey, we know what you're doing with the pool ladders. Here you go. Have this low-income family with this weird 3x3 pool in the back, and the husband is mysteriously missing. He's gone. He did. And we're the ones that did it. It sounds so horrible just phrasing it or framing it like that. But I guess the Rogues aren't nearly as dramatic as some of the other families out there. The one connection that they have to all the other craziness in town is that the rebellious or kind of punk teenage son is dating the goody two-shoes daughter of the picture-perfect family, and the dad hates his guts. I guess you have that inclusion into the whole, let's pull out a bunch of yarn and connect a bunch of different dots on this great big bulletin board kind of thing that you have going on in Pleasant View. I guess that's his connection to it all, and that he'd have a footnote on the bulletin board if somebody were going to go ahead and set that up. I guess some part of me just likes the cheesiness of all of this. Just what kind of fill-in-the-blanks there are with these pre-made families and their stories. The game itself is incredibly fun and ridiculous in its own way with how stupid the Sims are and how cartoony everything is. But there's just a little bit more entertainment value to imagining there's a soap opera brand web of motivations and backstory going on too. Just what kinds of ridiculous stuff that you can set up if you orchestrate things just right in The Sims 2. That you can have a womanizing sim like Don that can get away with having juggling three different relationships at once. That you can play as a crooked sim like Dina, with her big ambition to become a gold digger and have her get away with it. That you can entertain ridiculous ideas and Harlequin brand fantasies in this game with no repercussions unless you want to play the hand of God and have him get smashed by a satellite or something like that. I don't know. It's just I guess The Sims 2 just hits that note with me. It's somewhere between guilty pleasure and I legitimately enjoy how ridiculous and fun this game is.